Sometimes it can be quite difficult to make a decision on which electric car to buy. So I thought, why not actually find out what I think you guys in the US should purchase considering the current IRA or the tax incentives. $7,500 is a pretty compelling reason to get one car versus another. Aussies, I mean, that's about 11,000 Australian dollars. Kiwis, $12,000. You see my point? It's a lot of money, right? Absolutely massive. The reality is the list is not very long. Here is my top 5 cars, electric cars you should buy in the US. Now, this doesn't cover you if you're looking for like a big electric SUV, looking for a big pickup truck, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of demand, very hard to get one, but it covers most people. 90% of new car buyers would fall under this 5 car category, in my opinion. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. The Biden administration. I've been criticized, told I was wrong, told I was crazy, because I supported and in fact promoted this concept of the American government getting involved in actually sponsoring or helping the electric car industry to take off in the US. Now, I talked about this on the channel nearly 2 years ago when I started the channel. I said it was absolutely important because the Chinese government, China, the population there, were doing a thing that had never been seen before, taking over the automotive industry. At the time, more than 70% of electric cars worldwide were made in China. If the future is EVs, China owns the future. And that's scary because they also own batteries. Around 70% of the world's batteries are made in China as well. In fact, it's more than that. It's 76% right now. Well, since I made those videos, fortunately, the Biden administration came in with some rules, not that it had anything to do with me whatsoever, and decided, yes, things had to change. Since then, there has been more than $300 billion US committed to the manufacturing of batteries and cars in the US and Canada, which is phenomenal. However, there's been some hiccups along the way. For one, Joe Manchin has made things really difficult. So there's a very limited number of EVs that qualify, which is probably a good thing to some degree. Audi Q5 TFSI. That actually qualifies. Should you buy one? No. The BMW 330e qualifies. You get $7,500. Should you buy one? No. So does the X5 xDrive 45e. Should you buy one? No. Now here's where it gets different. Ford, they have a number of vehicles that qualify. The Ford Escape plug-in hybrid, yes. Ford e-Transit qualifies, yes. I'm not saying yes, you should buy either of those cars. Ford F-150 Lightning, yes. Mustang Mach-E, yes. Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring, yes. And the Lincoln Corsair Grand Touring. These all qualify. Some of them, depends on the model, you get $7,500 or you only get $3,750, depends on where the battery comes from. Ford e-Transit, that is in my top 5 because it's one of very few electric vans made in the United States. And yes, it does qualify. That's number 1, Ford e-Transit. All the other Fords are pretty good. And that brings me to the second vehicle, the Ford F-150 Lightning. Should you buy one of these if you want a pickup truck? Absolutely. That's your only choice right now. That or Rivian. And Rivian does make a good car. But personally, I think the safer bet is to go with the Ford F-150 Lightning. General Motors have 4 models that qualify. The Chevrolet Bolt, the Bolt EUV, the Cadillac Lyriq, and the Silverado EV. Obviously, the Silverado EV isn't being manufactured yet, so you can't even consider that. Would I get that instead of the F-150 Lightning though? Yes, I would. It's better for a number of reasons. Well, it will be. It's meant to be. Mary says it will be. Anyway, we'll see if that pans out. So, that leaves us with the Cadillac Lyriq, the Bolt EUV, and the Bolt. The Cadillac Lyriq is being made in very small numbers. If you order one now, it'll take years to get it. That rules that out. There's a definite no there. Many buyers have already cancelled to buy Teslas because they've been waiting too long. And basically, General Motors isn't communicating with them. So, there's no way of knowing when you'll get your Lyriq if you order one. That rules that out. The Bolt and the Bolt EUV, well, I'm going to put those as one car. They're pretty much the same car. It's a little bit different. Out of those two, I'd go for the Bolt EUV. Not saying you should, but that brings us to car number 3. So now we have 2 Fords and 1 General Motors Chevrolet electric vehicle. Those are my top 3 so far. Now there's a few other manufacturers that are making compelling cars, Hyundai and Kia for example, but they don't qualify. They're not made in the US. That brings us to Nissan. Yes, Nissan have the Leaf. In fact, 5 different models of the Nissan Leaf are made in the US. They all qualify. Should you buy any of those? No, definite no. That brings us all the way down to Tesla. Crazy. There's really not that many EVs that qualify at the moment. Tesla have, well, every single model qualifies for Tesla, except for the Model S and the Model X, which are too expensive. Now, I would have definitely considered the Model X at the current price. The price has been reduced. If you could get an additional $7,250 from the standard range, long range Model X, that would be a 7-seat SUV. I'd be saying, yeah, you should definitely consider that. That'd bring the price underneath $80,000 US. But unfortunately, the credits don't apply. So which of the cars should you get out of the Model 3 and the Model Y? Well, the base model doesn't qualify for the full incentive as of the 18th of April. It gets half the incentive because the battery comes from China. The long range version though, that does get the incentive. Therefore, I would be definitely getting the long range version. It's better value, unquestionably better value than the cheaper standard range version. Then you've got the Model Y. Now the price of the Model Y has recently been reduced. You can get the 4680 cell version, all-wheel drive, for $50,000 US, meaning it does qualify because it has 4680 cells that are manufactured in the US. It gets the full incentive of $7,500, meaning the price is $42,500. That is a bargain. It's a bargain. It's the lightest car in the world at that size, or approximately that size, which is electric. People are not mentioning this. It's really worth considering that fact. What does it mean if your car is, say, 400 pounds less? It is 400 pounds less than a lot of its competition in that exact same size. What does it mean? Less wear and tear, better range, better efficiency, less fuel costs. I mean, obviously less electricity costs. Good car. $50,000, base model 4680 cell, Model Y. That is my fifth car. But I'm going to go with the sixth car. A bit of a red herring here, a bit of a strange one. You might be thinking, oh, I don't know about that. And yeah, fair enough. But this is sort of a bonus round. I'm not putting it in my top 5, but I'm listing it here because you need to know about it. Volkswagen ID4 base model. The base model costs $39,000 US. It qualifies, meaning you can get it for just under $32,000 US. The ID4, it does have its quirks. Software, for example, reports are it's much better after a recent update, not an over-the-air update. You have to take it to the shop to get it done, so you can't call it an over-the-air update because that's a joke. But the ID4, it's absolutely worth considering at that price. It's cheaper, obviously, than a Model Y. About $10,000 cheaper for the base version. Nowhere near as good. It's definitely worth considering, though, if you're on more of a budget. ID4 at that price is a phenomenal car. I'm just going to go with, you know what, just put it at number 6. There's my 6. But there actually is another manufacturer in the US that makes EVs in the US that qualify. That's the Volvo. But unfortunately, they only make the S60. Yeah, not even worth your time considering. But there you have it. The top 6 cars to get and trucks to get in the US. Now, if you don't want the F-150 Lightning, get the Rivian. It's also very good. But as you can see, the prices of these vehicles are well within most people's budgets. Many of them are affordable. The Bolt, about $22,000. The Bolt EUV, about $23,000. ID4, less than $32,000. Tesla Model Y, $42,000. Model 3, less than $40,000 for the long range version. EVs are affordable this year in the United States and in a lot of other places around the world as well. I mean, the prices have been reduced significantly in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, the US, North America, many places. I mean, China, prices are ridiculous. My friends, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you agree or do you disagree? What are your top 5? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.